The fans want to see blood, sweat, and tears. He's always in tremendous fights, and he's a very exciting knockout artist. And that's what boxing is about. It's about giving the people and the fans what they want to see.
Just coming up in weight. He came up in weight doing that. I don't see, honestly, I don't see him. He's a good fighter, but I don't see, he's nothing in his past.
Saying have a fight, yes, but have it at 140. Fighting anyone at 140 would be more exciting than this fight against Lamont Roach.
Floyd Mayweather analyzed Davis versus Lamont Roach, emphasizing Tank's power, speed, and experience. He believes Roach is skilled, but lacks the strength to handle Davis's relentless pressure and knockout ability.
But I must say this, the most exciting fighter that's acting and fighting in boxing right now is Gervonta Tank Davis. When Gervonta Tank Davis go out there and fight, he reminds me of Pretty Boy Floyd. Because Pretty Boy Floyd, you couldn't go get no popcorn. You couldn't go get no soda. You couldn't go get no candy. You don't want to miss nothing.
Renowned boxing analyst Al Bernstein has expressed skepticism regarding Lamont Roach's ability to defeat Gervonta Tank. Bernstein points out that Roach's past performances lack evidence of the power necessary to overcome a formidable opponent. Like Davis, who boasts an impressive record and multiple championships, this perspective has led many to question the competitiveness of the upcoming bout to about
the big one coming up in a month. Another guy you called several of his fights, Gervonta Davis, fighting Lamont Roach, is a significant favorite. Do you think Roach is being undervalued as an underdog, or it will probably go the way people think it will go?
You know, Roach is coming up in weight. He came up in weight doing that. I don't see, honestly, I don't see him. He's a good fighter, but I don't see, he's nothing in his past tells me he's going to beat Gervonta Davis or even be competitive with him. And I'm not, it's not a denigration of Lamont Roach. He's a good fighter. He won a title at a lower weight. And that was a surprise to some people that he did get, even though he was a good prospect. So it's just hard to imagine him beating Davis.
The other Davis is fighting for a world title 2 weeks before in New York against Baranchik.
Oh yeah, Keyshawn Davis. That's a fascinating fight.
The upcoming fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach has drawn mixed reactions, with some labeling it a cherry pick due to Roach moving up to 130 B. Former pro boxer Dawood Bey analyzes the matchup, emphasizing the deep boxing history of Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. He believes Roach's camp is strong and expects a competitive fight rather than an easy win for Davis. Bey highlights Davis's position in the sport, noting that criticism is inevitable unless he faces top names like Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney. He predicts an exciting DMV showdown with high-energy action.
Gervonta Davis, Lamont Roach. A lot of people shitting on the fight. A lot of people saying it's a cherry pick. A lot of people saying that, or criticizing Tank for bringing Lamont up to 130. What's your thoughts on the fight?
I think if you understand the history of D.C. and Baltimore, and then I'm familiar with Roach and them camp a little bit, because I'm cool with people that's tight with them and stuff like that, so we all kind of encounter each other. I don't live nothing but 2.5 hours away, right? I wouldn't see none of them coming and laying down. And then Tank is Tank. I think you're going to get a DMV classic. Like, you're going to get a good fight. They're going to fight each other. Lamont going to fight Tank. You know what I'm saying? So for however long it lasts, or for however long the fireworks is, you know what I mean, going off, he going to fight him. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's going to come out there to lay down. So, I don't know. I mean, people going to criticize you no matter what, though, once you get in, like, Tank position.
The boxing community has voiced concerns about Davis's selection of Lamont Roach as his next opponent. Critics argue that Davis is avoiding more challenging fights against top-tier contenders like Shakur Stevenson. The decision to face Roach, who is perceived as a less formidable Aders, has led to accusations of cherry-picking and has sparked debates about Davis's willingness to test himself against the best in the division.
Biggest puncher, I feel, at the 135 will probably be Gervonta Tank Davis. But the most skillful fighter at 135 will be hands down Shakur Stevens.
And what is it about him? Because I know he have a lot of good attributes, but do you think he has enough power?
Well, it's really all about skills. Pernell Whitaker wasn't a huge puncher, but he was, I mean, very exciting, very tough, and he fought everybody. And Shakur is trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. He's asking, can he fight the best? I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level and give him the fights that he want.
Despite being a world, champion Lamont Roach remains relatively unknown to the broader public. This lack of recognition contributes to the perception that Davis has chosen an easy fight. However, Roach's supporters argue that his underdog status could work to his advantage. As opponents may underestimate his capabilities in the ring, Shields acknowledges Roach's potential, but emphasizes Davis's proven track record and formidable skills.
See him beat him, so Lamont Roach is a good fighter, but and I'm happy to see a fighter like Lamont Roach, who's had to come up the blue-collar way, get a big opportunity, get a big payday. But now that I've said that, it's an underwhelming fight, and everybody's saying that because it's true. And this is a fight that would have made more sense for Gervonta Davis a couple years ago, back when Gary Russell was rumored as an opponent. And this would be, you know, like a good DMV rivalry, you know, two guys from the DMV area. But in 2024, when Tank's already headlined a lot of pay-per-views, it's underwhelming. And, you know, before the Gervonta Davis fans try to come at my throat, I get it. Lomachenko walked away from the table. Of course, that's after, you know, some years earlier of Tank saying he wasn't interested in that fight. Fight was never officially negotiated by Top Rank or PBC, but for years, Gervonta had no real intention of fighting Lomachenko. And now Lomachenko has walked away from the table now that the fight's available. I understand that. I understand Shakur Stevenson really is opting more the Williams Zepeda route. I understand that Teofimo Lopez has only really called Davis out once the Lamont Roach fight was really being talked about around Canelo Berlanga fight week and was close to probably being final.
De La Hoya concurs, referring to Tank as a beast and suggesting that while Roach is a competent fighter, facing Davis will be a significant challenge, potentially leading to a tough night for Roach. Interview 7. Davis has recently announced plans to retire at the end of 2025, citing personal reasons and a desire to focus on his family and mental health. This decision has influenced his choice of opponents, leading him to select Lamont Roach for his upcoming fight.
I think Lamont Roach is a terrific fighter. He might be a little over his head with Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is, I mean, to say the least, he's a beast. He really is. He's a tremendous fighter. He's a dedicated fighter when it comes to training and fighting and making sure that he's in optimal conditions when he steps inside that squared circle. It's going to be a tough night for Roach, but you can never count him out. You know, watching him fight up close and personal, he's sneaky good, which means he can catch you at any time. He can land combinations, sometimes at will, without you even knowing it. You know, he's that sneaky. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. But, you know, obviously Gervonta Davis has the experience. He has the knowledge. He has that mean streak in him that will take you out with any.
Some speculate that Davis aims to secure manageable victories before his retirement, while others believe he is providing opportunities for lesser-known fighters to gain exposure and financial benefits. Devin Haney says he doesn't believe that Tank is going to retire this soon.
Here's my take on the fight. Everything is true about this situation. One, Gervonta Tank Davis was being ducked leading up to this. Shakur Stevenson ducked him. Lomachenko ducked him openly. El Rayo didn't want to fight this year. He wanted to fight next year. Another thing is, I was hearing that Tank wanted it at 135 and rehydration, all kind of shit. So, but I don't know how true that is, which it wouldn't shock me if that was true. Either way, for whatever reason, El Rayo fell apart. The options were just getting diabolical. All right, I understand that. At the same time, Lamont Roach versus Tank is trash. If Devin Haney announced he was fighting Lamont Roach coming up from 130 next at 135, I'll say that shit's trash. Let me tell you this. To me, Gervonta is far better than Devin Haney. So it's trash, bruh. It's trash.
People are criticizing Lamont Roach, simply because they don't know him or his accomplishments. Unlike Tank Davis, who is a household name with massive exposure, Roach hasn't received the same spotlight fans believe in Tank because they've seen his knockouts, his dominance, and his championship wins, while Roach remains underrated. However, just because people haven't seen Roach in action doesn't mean he isn't a threat. He's a world champion for a reason, and this fight is his chance to prove that he belongs at the top critics. Maybe sleeping on him, but Roach is ready to wake them up.